You're staying. Your marriage is not a pyar ki shadi, but you like to tell stories of romance. Like the time he secretly brings you fruit to eat on your dusk-lit balcony, sneaking up the gray concrete steps to spend a few minutes gazing at your charming banter. You dreamily recount moments of his tenderness, wistfully, as you fold the laundry on the couch with the young and the restless buzzing in the background. And you jolt into reality when you remember that he moved you to this land in which you don't belong. You are pregnant when he leaves, and you wait until he tells you that it is time to join him. You remember the fear you feel and how young you are when you travel on a jahaz for the first time. You're 6-month-old in your arms for more than 24 hours. You tell stories now of how baby is sick and you don't have enough diapers, and you have to wash the putrid, sticky diapers by hand with soap that smells like industrial fumes in the hissing airplane bathroom. And you remember the rushing feeling of relief you feel when you land on this land. You don't talk about it as much as you exude it, the breath-jolting sadness of leaving while you try to find home in this land in which you don't belong. You remind yourself your children are young, and he shows his love through loving demands and cruel control. At least, you say, he provides for you, he does not stray, and he devotes himself to creating a good home for you and your children. You remember the times he comes home after midnight from his last of 5 evening shifts, and despite your pleading with him to let your easily excitable bache sleep, he wakes them up with a big red and white bucket of baba chicken. His bubbling, jovial voice is a contagion offered on the chipped faux marble kitchen table, and you send the children off to contented, chicken skin fueled sleep, smelling of grease and the baba's 11 secret herbs and spices. And so you reconcile each act of love with each moment of aggression, as if you are keeping account on a balance sheet. Every time he hits you, every act of brutality is a red mark, and every act of generosity or kindness or love is a black mark. And you convince yourself that you are not in the red, but you forget that you keep secretly depositing hope to the account. So you stay. You remember the time he sponsors your Ammi and brother. You are so happy at his kindness. He does this despite the cost to him as he struggles to find home, like you. You are in it together, in this land in which you don't belong, until you are not. When your brother and Ammi move to this land, he mocks them, calls them Bindu, uneducated, Jahil. He tells them that he can beat you and there is nothing they can do. You are shocked when he continues to order your 7-year-old daughter to taunt them. You argue with them and ask him to stop, but he doesn't. So you have no choice. You remember the loss you swallow when you make your 7-year-old teary-eyed daughter into your confidant. You ask her to stop calling your brother and mother names when her father asks her to. And you remember that when your curly-haired bachi asks you why, you explain her father is trying to hurt you and her mamu and her nani. You know she loses some innocence that day. And you also know that she learns how to make space for fairness amongst unkindness. And so you stay. You think about leaving. You remember that he tells you that you are good for nothing. And so you get a job at a factory that makes those woven wooden fruit baskets with the lime green stamps. You make friends in that conveyor belt, screeching and humming and voice-filled warehouse floor. And you become someone that people trust when you shamelessly speak up to the foreman. You feel you are making home in this land in which you don't belong. But soon you get home after a long shift and he tells you to quit. So you tell your 11-year-old daughter that you plan to leave. She stands on top of the second floor, sun-baked wooden steps of the split-level brick bungalow, and she looks at you with eyes darkly darting with fear. You recognize that look. She says, "Nahi, if you leave, she will stay and take care of her father." And so you stay.